Mark, I just think your whole approach to this. There's two things I really want to take away from this, because I think you can help so many people, and you do help so many people, which is one of the things I want to come on to as well. If somebody's watching this and they've been diagnosed with cancer, and obviously they might have a level of fear and that uncertainty, what would you advise them to do? What's the step? I mean, you might not have an exact step by step, but what somebody's listening to this now and they're going, wow, I've been drawn to this, because I believe that people will watch this video, and I believe like energy attracts like energy. And I think part of the bigger universal, the creator, God, light, energy, whatever you want to call it, that somebody will come to this video and they're needed to hear this very thing. It's going to be the thing that changes. This interview will probably save lives. I will go as far as saying that. What would you advise somebody who's listening? What's the first steps? What should they do?
The first thing I speak to when I speak into cancer patients at the minute is get Jane McClelland's book, How to Starve Cancer, because that kind of bridges the whole naturopathic, holistic, and scientific approach to cancer. And it's really interesting to see that there is a positive move in this direction. So, cancers are not just genetic. A lot of the medications that are in mainstream medicine at the minute are genetically created because you can patent them. And they can be charged. And, my medication costs 25 grand a year, but I can't go and do potentially life-saving treatment in America. My insurance won't pay for that. And it's so frustrating when I could get 25 grand's worth of medication for the next 20 years. I'm like, I don't want to take it for 20 years, but cancers are just like normal cells in the body. They're metabolic. And, you hear a lot of cancer patients that say, oh, well, I've just got to cut out sugar and I'll get well. But in reality, cancer cells have the pathways of fats, proteins, and carbs or sugars. And so she's been able to develop a very specific strategy for different cancers, because they all fuel differently. And so there's like different pathways on each of the fats, carbs, and proteins. So what you use is off-label drugs to block the pathways. So things like statins for the fats, diabetic drugs, diabetes drugs for the sugars. And so she's got a little cocktail of drugs, and there's Care Oncology in London that also are creating a study that they've got centers around the world now that are offering a lot of label drugs, which are super cheap, 70 quid a quarter or something. But it's not part of mainstream medicine at the moment, because the research is relatively new. So that's what I would say to cancer patients is go get her book, read it. It probably won't make sense to initially read it a second time and do her online course, because I think, that this she's working on the new science that, ultimately there needs to be personalized medicine. Because whilst the people in the system are great, my oncologist knows what he knows, but he's not a functional medicine practitioner. The system does not have functional medicine practitioners operating within it. So our whole immune system is not just, the current medicine just focuses on the symptoms, like what's the problem? Let's try and fix the problem, but not the root cause. And so, we've got physical well-being, which is all to do with guts, micronutrients. Are we getting the right nutrition, exercise, moving the lymphatic system? There's all that kind of stuff. And where was I going with this? The question was
steps. The steps of what someone would do if they were watching.
So that's what I would say is read How to Starve Cancer, and I'll send you the link to the book. And her books, she's got a cancer support group of like 42,000 people. So if you search for your specific cancer type in that support group, there are lots of people doing really lots of positive things within it. And the other part of it is the psychosomatics part of it, is knowing that there are people out there like me, like Anita Moranjani, that have overcome stage 4 and terminal illnesses. All right.
Yeah.
I've just seen a little video of a 91-year-old that's done the same thing. Amazing stories out there, and it is possible.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my thing with the Terminal to Triathlon, is that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And you can do it. You just got to silence the noise,
Yeah.
and build your own story.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a lot of the noise will knock you off your path. And I think my entrepreneurial endeavors is like, you are going to be one of the 1 or 2% of people that are doing what you're doing, not the other 90%. Like, we've got to be those that are walking the path, as opposed to the 98% that are still not misguided. I don't want to say misguided, but confused by the noise that culturally society has been created. So I hope that helps.